sorry that you're out first.
Hey,
what? We're out first?
What?
We haven't watched the episode yet.
We don't have cable. Can we borrow your Paramount Plus password? Yeah.
You guys should check out the episode.
Wait, who goes home? Can you tell us?
I'll give you some details along the way here. Aastha, you're a big fan of the show. You basically introduced Nina to the show. Nina, was it a hard sell when she starts talking about, hey, let's audition and go on this?
FYI, like I didn't even know we auditioned really. Like she was joking around one day, like 2 years ago, and like just putting a camera in my face. I was like, get out of here. I'm working. I'm in a Zoom call.
She was half paying attention. And I'm like, hey, so we're gonna be the next lesbian couple in next race. And Nina's like half paying attention. She's on her laptop. She didn't even realize that I was auditioning.
It's still a blur. It's still a blur. But I feel like, at the end of the day, I mean, she's so cute. Like, look at her. Like, I mean, if you do anything to make her feel sad, like, aren't you going to feel terrible? Like,
yes. Yes. I feel you. I feel you. So once you got the news that you were going to be on this show, how did you prepare?
Oh my God. We did so much preparation. We went rock climbing, kayaking. We did plate spinning. We learned different national anthems, Botswanan and Tanzanian national anthem. We learned so many dances. We literally did, we were driving stick. We rented Turo cars. We
the list could go on forever.
We went crazy with preparation. We even learned different languages, like that Schmetterling German joke. That was because I studied German for the race. You know what I mean? And so, there was a lot of preparation, but there's nothing that really can prepare you for
not for this round either.
Not for this very physical round.
I mean, I didn't practice chopping down trees or
we didn't do that. Rolling kegs. That was
should have done.
That was
done. Who knew? Well, we saw you guys before you sort of hit the road in Germany. You took the time, you got some detailed info about your route. Was that the right strategy, or did that take too much time?
I think as every single viewer looks at it, in theory, it would have been great if, the circumstances were different later on, right? So for example, if at the different stations, there was nobody to ask directions later on, I think we would have won, right? Like easily. But because I think every single area, for every other racer, you could find people very easily at every single stop. I mean, it just ended up working out for our favor. It was time that didn't need to be spent. But at the end of the day, you just never know. And that was just part of it.
We heard so many podcasts that season 33, they were all in rural areas where they couldn't find anybody to ask for directions. So we're like, okay, let's do this now.
You don't know.
And we thought we were being really smart and really strategic. It was only a couple extra minutes, but it still added up at the end of the day.
Yeah. But you saw all those cars rolling past us. That was real.
Yeah.
And then we're not even, it's not even phasing us because we're like, we're doing the right thing.
Yeah. We're going to outsmart all of them.
You had a plan. Yeah. Well, we do see it taking 5 attempts when you were rolling a keg. What ended up being the challenge there for you?
So you know what you don't see as a viewer is that every time you fail, there's a 2-minute waiting penalty. So those minutes added up. And that was an extremely physical challenge. You saw Marcus and Michael, who were like the 2 big military guys. They got it in 54 seconds, which is like a second away. We kept hitting 56. One time we got 55 and a half, and they made us do it again. And so literally it was the nail in our coffin. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's those hay bales, man.
Hay
bales. Out of the way. Get out.
You're now triggered by hay bells. Okay.
Don't bring up.
What about the saw and smash challenges? How were those for you?
I think we killed it. Nina killed the smash. She killed it. Even the saw, we actually passed a couple teams.
Yeah, we did.
Which you didn't see. We at a certain point after those 2 challenges were over, I delusionally thought we were in first place because we were doing everything so fast. And it was
in our head.
Yeah, it was just the rolling challenge.
Well, I mean, we did do it fast. Everybody's just faster.
Yeah, especially the keg challenge. Yeah.
Yeah. So was there anything else that you could have done differently?
Ooh, I think we at the beginning we should have just like ran for it and just like follow teams out of there. That would be great. But hindsight is 2020. You know what I mean?
And I think the one thing about clues, so you know what's interesting is like people always tell you read the clue thoroughly. But what's also interesting is like sometimes when you read the clue, that when there's an absence of information, you can use that in your favor. So for example, I didn't realize it until we watched the episode yesterday, but technically the barrel is the only thing that needs to go across the finish line. Right. So we had pushed it in the end, like really hard. We probably could have got that second in.
Yeah.
The one thing that Quentin did. And he pushed it across when he wasn't even across. So that technicality of that rule actually played in his favor. But I always came across with
Nina
the barrel.
thought she had to be across the line with the barrel.
So absence of information can also be information.
Read
future racers. Yeah.
Right. Very interesting. You seem like a very detailed person. Is that the case? Yeah.
Aastha and I always say it's like, I'm a better consultant than I am a racer. Full transparency. Very thorough, very, very detail oriented. And then Aastha is a much better comedian than she is a racer also.
So I do stand-up comedy. And so I hope the episode made you laugh a couple times last night.
It did. You guys are very entertaining, even pre-season.
Oh,
so entertaining. Kayla Platt from last season, she came on and did the draft with us. You were her first pick.
Oh, I feel
we're so sorry.
We
let you down.
So sorry.
Please let us know your address so we could send flowers. So apologies.
We were all so excited for you guys. So with this scramble, though, like you mentioned, you thought maybe you were in first place at one time. Could you tell, though, by the end there when you were approaching the mat that you were in last place?
Oh, go ahead, Nina. Go ahead.
I mean, I think every single viewer saw whenever Aubrey was just like, it was just like we were just running and all the cars. So FYI, for every single scene that you saw a person coming up to the finish line, that was pretty much it. It's like it was that close, right?
Yeah.
From our understanding.
Yeah.
So when we came up, it was almost as if all the cars were lined up, and I knew in my head, counting all the cars, because I'm really great at counting.
She's good. She's Asian. She's really good at math.
Yeah. So at the very end, I was like, oh, there are 11 other cars here. We're done. Right?
I'm a delusional optimist. And I was like, we still have a chance.
I mean, who knows? You never know in the race. Like people can get lost, right? Yeah. Like, I mean, the military brothers, team T-Rex were moving around for quite some time. Yeah. If only they had launched a little bit more, it would have been in our benefit.
I noticed that they also didn't have their backpacks when they landed on the mat. So I just putting that out.
No shade. No shade.
Oh, no. We need to get a petition going.
Exactly. Because you're supposed to have your backpacks when you check into the mat, otherwise you can't go back and get it. That's like a race rule. And so when we saw that last night, we were like, what? Why do they not have their backpacks?
Investigation coming soon.
Yes. I love that.
I'm on it. Well, so by this point you're counting cars. Do you have any idea though how far behind you are from the first place team?
Ooh, no idea.
No clue. Do you know?
Fast.
No.
Literally so fast. All I know is that we were last by 3 minutes, and it was literally $333,000 we lost per minute.
Yeah.
So we were that's what just stuck in our head after we got eliminated. 3 minutes. It was wild. And it was literally the roll that killed us because of those 2-minute time penalties.
Wow. Well, you mentioned on the mat you're going to be able to laugh about it. It seems like you're laughing about it. Are we laughing?
I mean, at the end of the day, I'm a stand-up comedian, and like I tried to find the humor in everything. I actually prayed for 2 things before I went for the race. I was like, I want to be a famous comedian by the end of this, and I want to win the Amazing Race. And then God was like, hold my beer. You know what would be hilarious if you were eliminated first. You know what I mean? So I can laugh about it. I was laughing about it about 48 hours after we got eliminated because for the first 48 hours were rough. But after that, I was like, this is the funniest thing that can happen to a comedian. So I was like, this is great.
You know, and at the end of the day, it's like you realize it's like, okay, so when you go on the race, right, you think that you have a 1 in 10, 12 chance at winning, right? It's not that easy. Like it is not that statistic, right? Like I probably have easier ways to make $1 million. So now I'm working on it, right? So anything, crypto, Amazon FBA, real estate,
you're selling Avon products now.
Anything. Bring it here, people. If you have ideas, send it my way.
You'll find it. What was there anything that you ended up wishing you had trained for or prepared for?
Ooh.
I think if we had, so FYI, when we first started the race, like we had a plan of action when it came down to driving. And I think that would have flipped things around because I was supposed to be the driver in this instance. And Asta was actually supposed to be the map reader.
Yeah.
But we switched things last minute, despite all of our planning.
Yeah.
Because the car was automatic, she ended up driving.
Yeah.
And that ended up going awry for us because I'm the more thorough one.
Yeah.
So when you get me behind the map, I'm going to be the one taking too much time.
And what you don't know, what you don't see is that Nina's actually a veteran. Like she has spent 7 years in the Army National Guard. She knows how to drive giant convoys.
Yeah.
Like she went to Iraq. Like she knows how to drive really well and all different types of vehicles and all different types of terrain. And so we made a last minute panic switch. Whereas like I became the driver and she became the navigator. And so that also scrambled our brain.
Yeah. But that's what happens, whenever things just come up, you think you're making the right decision to pivot. But you never know.
Yeah.
You never know. It could have gone either way.
Race is crazy.
It is. It really is.
I mean, you guys seem very happy together. What was this experience like racing together?
I mean, although we were in last place, there's nothing else that I would trade it. I mean, the race really puts life in perspective. You know, if you have a healthy body, you have a good partner, and you get to. How many people get to just race around the world on a TV show? You know what I mean?
Oh my God.
If you really put life in perspective, my heart is filled with gratitude.
Yeah. I mean, we've been together for about 4 years now. And honestly, it's like, regardless of how much time that we're together, we're continuously learning. Right.
Yeah.
So I think as a relationship, it's like, we've never competed
together.
Yeah. So that was learning. And I'm sure that there was like a little bit of friction there. Like we learned a lot about each other as like a competitive couple. And that was really interesting. Like she's very competitive.
Yeah.
And I'm not as much, clearly.
Yeah.
but
I mean, it's so crazy. The race was like, I'm like competitive on our lesbian board game nights. Like I'm so competitive, but on the race, I was so laissez-faire. I don't even know what happened. I was so chill and she was stressed out. She kept telling me, focus, Aastha, focus. And I kept just making a whole bunch of wood jokes.
Well, because I was horrified of being last on the Amazing Race. And,
the race does a lot of things to your brain. It really scrambles it up.
Yeah.
Aastha, I read a quote from you that you said Nina nerded her way into your heart. And my channel is Nerdtainment. We're all nerds. So I just need to know how this nerding happened.
Oh my God, I love it.
What is the nerd?
You have the best question.
Yeah, that was a really great question. So basically, when we went on our first date, I'm a vegetarian. I'm really mindful. I meditate. Nina is like Texan, loves meat. And like for 4 hours, like she kept talking about how much she loved meat. And I texted her at the end of the day and I was like, I'm sorry, this is not going to work out. Like this is like, it's not going to work between a vegetarian and someone who is obsessed with meat. You know what I mean? And then what she did was she actually created a Google Doc and she Googled, like she found all these different articles of how it can work between a carnivore and a herbivore. And she presented all of her notes and her like docs, like all of her findings in this Google Doc. And she was so thorough. And she's like, this is how we can make this work. And literally nerded her way into my heart. I was like,
that would do it.
Yeah, find you a girl who makes a Google Doc for you, If
you send me a spreadsheet, yes.
Oh my God, you're speaking my language. Yeah. I was just
Sarah.
Like at the end of some of our interviews, they're like, where can we find you? I'm like, LinkedIn. You can find me on LinkedIn.
Yeah. So Nina's a lot better consultant than she is a racer.
Yeah.
I'm a lot better comedian than I am a racer. So please add her on LinkedIn and follow me on Aastha.lol.
Is it Instagram? I am going to find you because I live in LA. I'll come see your shows.
Yes. Oh, I would love that. I would love that. Yeah. Aastha.lol on Instagram.
Okay. You got it. Thank you, ladies, for your time. It was so lovely to chat with you.
Likewise, Sarah. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
much,
Sarah.
Appreciate you.